cut line, as we see on a big one here. Mikey Madonna just outrunning this thing. It's going to close out behind him, and eventually, well, he did really well to stay out in front of it, but eventually gets mowed down here.
Wow, that was the smart play was actually just to ride through that, and let's just cast our thoughts to Yago, who wore that one on the head as well. So both these competitors in this final 20 minutes of their heat, they're absolutely just getting pounded through the inside.
Rich, who obviously knows a lot, runs at the River title at Carolina in recent times. This event has evolved so beautifully as a CT style, just with the benchmark, just going to another place with John Lawrence in high performance surfing in big swell. But it just always delivers a couple of big days like this that are super challenging for everyone, and it's fun watching people trying to attack it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you come to WA and you always expect like a few days where you're like, oh man, I'm gonna get pretty worked out there. So today's definitely one of those days. Tomorrow will be one of those days as well. But everyone's been surfing really well. Like I said, there's so much water moving out there, so it's pretty impressive to see how all the guys approach it. And I feel like throughout the day the performance will just keep getting better as people find their feet. So. But yeah, always expecting a couple days out here where you're like, "Ooh, this is a lot to deal with." So it's exciting for sure.
It feels like at the championship tour level, everyone is kind of on a mission to obviously get a board that's going to allow them to, get into these waves, but they still have that freedom. And then a local like Willow Hardy, you saw her take a lot more lumber into the lineup, and it helped to get into one of the biggest waves of the day.
Oh my gosh, just a massive wave. She took off on. That was it was really cool to just see her commit to a wave that big out there, and unfortunately she kind of couldn't really set her line, but yeah, it showed a big level of commitment. But yeah, it is interesting because with all the wind and the water moving, and it's a lot of cat and mouse. Like you're paddling out because you don't want to get worked by the sets, but the waves you want are kind of farther in, so you want a big board to move around. But actually on the wave you don't need that big of a board. You still want to perform. So I feel like John has the perfect formula out here. Like he's such a good paddler, but also rides a board that's not that big for him, and you can just tell he surfs this wave like it's a 3-foot wave no matter what size it is, and it's so impressive. So we're all just trying to copy John.
So tell us about the size of your typical go-to board out here on, say, a 4-foot day, and then when you're facing conditions like this, the max that you'll kind of step up to.
Yeah, my shortboard's at about like a 5'6", 5'7", so I'd say like the first day we ran out here, I was on a 5'9", which felt like, for a couple inches bigger, it felt like a really nice size. Like I said, you still want to really be able to perform out here and like kind of surf it like it is a smaller wave. Today, I'd say I'd probably be on I'd probably want like a 6'3" for paddling, but I want like a 6'0" on the wave. So with the jet skis and stuff, maybe I'd be on like a 6'1". I don't know.
That's the biggest board that you brought here.
Yeah, I brought a 6'2" here, so maybe a 6'2". I don't know, but it kind of seems like it maybe got bigger throughout the day, like through this morning. So maybe I'd be on the 6'2" just to catch him, step on the tail.
Rich was talking about it before too. The size of the board required back in the day had a lot to do too with glass in fins. Your bigger equipment. It's sort of. You weren't able to change it out, Rich.
No, you couldn't. You were stuck with what was, made at the time, and that's what you had to deal with. But as a result, we used to ride a lot longer boards, and now with the invent of the detachable fin systems, FCS and Futures, we're able to tune the boards and perhaps put a bigger, stiffer fin in to allow the board to hold in a bit better as well. And we've seen a lot of surfers in the last year or two going back to that solid fiberglass fin.
Yeah, I think there'd be some big switch-ups in the blades for the competitors out there as we see Yago. This one getting a little frothy on the inside. It's going to have a big, ugly section. And he's going to... there. Holding on to the lead at the moment, the world number 2. But Mikey got himself back in this one. He had a 6.17. Doesn't need a whole lot to get himself in the lead. A dangerous heat for Yago, Rich. Because Mikey's a guy campaigning on the Challenger Series with big turns that look very at home on these big open faces.
Absolutely. He looks really comfortable, and with each heat that I've watched him surf in this event, this is his 3rd heat now, and he's looking better and better with each attempt. So, yeah, Yago's obviously looking to consolidate his position.
What a great
up
group
the top of the
session
ratings.
we're having.
We see all our competitors just getting caught inside by one of those rogue sets.